Hello everyone, I'm Ezekiel Kuhoga, and today I want to talk to you about the danger of a common sense. Yes, common sense. And I will define common sense for you some few minutes ahead. But to begin with, I want to state to you two of the most contradicting statements that I've ever encountered. And these statements, they're coming actually from the Bible. These are the words of Jesus Christ himself. And they are coming actually from Matthew 16, verse 25, verse 24 and 25. For verse 24, I will rephrase, I will not read the exact words. He said, if any man wants to follow me, he should deny himself. So you can see, he should deny himself. So for me, it was very confusing or contradicting, like, how can I really deny myself? How can I really deny myself? But statement number two is verse 25, where he says that whosoever wants to save his life shall lose it, and whoever wants to lose his life for my sake, he shall save it. So you can try to measure these statements, like how do they really make logic? Because if I really want to save my life, how can I lose if I want to save my life? How? But also, if I want to follow him, I should deny myself. How do I deny myself? Of course, there are many ways that many preachers have been trying to interpret these statements. But I have my own way, in my own context, the way I want to discuss about this. And this is what I want to discuss with you. And we'll see if you can agree with me. But this is where my discussion is coming from. Like, this is where I can say the dangers of a common sense. So I believe that the way, since the creation of this world and the way the human has been evolving from time to time, there are some characteristics which do not evolve over time. And one of them being that character of seeking protection against oneself, but also another character of seeking to deposit, to accumulate for oneself. I think these are the two things which have been the same since the creation of the universe. I mean, since the creation of the human. Those, I think, are the two main characteristics: protection against any harm, any danger, and also accumulation of it could be food, it could be wealth, and something like that. So back in the days, I think humans used to accumulate mostly food, also accumulate women. And it reached to the point when money was introduced, then money, I mean, of course, there was the land, many resources. So it's about protection and accumulation. And I think these are the two things which have been guiding any man, and anything which relates to that environment now can also be related to a common sense. I mean, even without people taking into consideration, like, really, what are they thinking? But unfortunately, as the time goes, the way the human relationships is evolving from place to place, things are changing. Things are changing. And those who are more depending on this common sense, they are ending up losing most of the times. And I can give you the really practical examples. I've trained myself to swim. And one of the things which I've discovered is that in order for you to be able to swim perfectly, you have to do exactly the opposite of a common sense. For example, if you have never swum before, one of the very common sense that you will have in your mind is that never drown yourself in the water. But in order to be able to swim in the water, first you have to be able to float in the water. And you can never be able to float in the water if all of the sensitive parts of your body, especially the head, because the head is the most sensitive part of the body. Even the children know it. Like, when you put anything on the face of the child, you can see how much the child is struggling. The child who has just been born. So the same for the adult human being. So the very thing that is not supposed to go submerged in the water, if it's not submerged in the water, you will never be able to float, because your head will your body will be forced to go under the water until the level of water has leveled on your head. You see, and that's the very own thing. I mean, that's the very thing which you would never allow if you follow the common sense, because you know definitely if the water goes above your head, that's death is coming onto you. So that's number one place where you have to break the common sense. But number two, it's about the confidence. How can you get the confidence if it's your first days in the water, if you are in the water, almost submerged in the water? How can you get your confidence? You would never get any confidence. But if you ask anybody who is swimming, they would tell you, the moment you lose your confidence in the water, you will go down. I don't know what's the connection between the confidence in the water and the density of your body. I don't know, but for some reasons, they seem to be connected. But the moment where you will start to feel comfortable in the water, immediately your body will go afloat, will go on top of the water. That's what I've experienced. I experienced it myself, and also after starting to look in the internet and different places, that is what they will tell you. You have to feel comfortable in the water. But the common sense says, how can you feel comfortable in the water when you can just die by drowning? You see? So those are the two examples. I mean, there are many examples. You can try to watch different videos on how you want to swim, and you can see by yourself. Every rule which can enable you to be a good swimmer is defying the common sense of a natural man who has never been to water. And why did I use this example of water? It's because naturally, the human being is supposed to be on the land. He's not supposed to be in the water. Water was made for the fish and stuff like that. But a man was made for the land. He walks on the land. He does his stuff on the land. But at some point, he has to go to the water to catch some fish, to travel from one place to another. So for some reasons, you have to get associated with water. And if you are going to associate with water, you cannot go with your common senses. You have to learn how to relate in the water. And when you relate in the water, if you go with your common sense, you will die. Because if you apply your very own common sense, you want to put your head on top of water, you will go down. You are struggling, you will go down. You lose your confidence, you will go down. So it's until the moment where you learn that, yes, I'm in the water, but it requires, first of all, I need to be fully submerged. But second, it needs me to be at peace. It needs me to be comfortable. It needs me to be confident. But second of all, I need to be calm, to use my feet and hands in the calm manner in order to stay afloat. Otherwise, if you struggle, you can get tired easily and you can get drowned in the water very quickly. So, in the similar manner, like I told you, a man since the beginning has been made naturally to be protective and to want to accumulate things. But as the time changes, he now has to adapt to the new times, where we have people from different cultures interacting with each other with different intentions, with different interests. If you have not learned how to interact properly in these new relationships, it's easy for you to get ruined in many ways. Sorry for this call. Yeah, so it's easy for you to get ruined. So even speaking about money itself, because you are not the only one who is handling money. When you handle money, you have to exchange it with some people. You have to invest in some places. You have to buy one thing or the other. So whenever you interact with some other people, you have to understand, especially about that item which is being exchanged, but also about other people. How do they consider one thing or the other? So why did I tell you? I told you this because there are many people, for example, even talking about the money that I just mentioned. If somebody asks you today, like, what is it really that you don't understand about money? Almost everybody who has already started to use money, they understand about money, because you just earn money, you spend it, You can save it, you can buy something, and even if you ask a 60-year-old girl, what would you do if you get $6 million today? They'll say, I want to build a house for my mom. I want to open up a very big business. I want to do this. I want to buy a ship. I want to help the poor people. But that's the common thinking, which can happen to everybody. But when the money gets in your hand, this is when you realize, oh my God, it's not what I thought it was going to be. Otherwise, everybody would have already been rich, because almost everybody understands about money from the common sense perspective. My advice is, get to understand things, because even from the same Bible which I just read these verses, is that though he has told you that whoever wants to save his life shall lose it, and whoever wants to lose it for my sake shall save it. Later on, he tells you that my people are perishing because of lack of understanding, which means that the very one thing that you're supposed to do is to seek for understanding in whatever that you will be interacting with. And this is how you get to understanding really how things are supposed to go. And by concluding, now I will give you the definition of the common sense and how I think you're supposed to use the so-called common sense in order for you to know exactly what you're supposed to do. So common sense for me, it is simply a common thinking across common people. Any society which has some people who are connected can just believe into one thing. And we have all heard this tale which says that if a lie is told to you maybe 100 times, it will end up being your own truth. Not the truth, but your own truth. You can tell a lie and you can tell it yourself, but if everybody keeps on repeating the same lie that you did tell, you will end up believing the own lie you told. And this is what happens. This is how the subconscious mind operates. So, like I told you, I don't want to waste so much of your time. From today, build the habit of seeking to understand things. Stop assuming things. Stop assuming things about money. Stop assuming things about business. It's easy to assume basing on the common sense, but that's not how really things work. Read the books, not just one book, because you can read one book and conclude, but one person may be wrong in some points or another. But if you get many sources, it's easy to understand from different perspectives. It's easy to get the whole picture. Talk about money, talk about business, talk about the relationships, talk about many things. Seek understanding. Stop assuming things from the common sense perspective. Thank you so much, and I wish you a good time, and see you later on the next session. Bye-bye.